Order in the court, Media Junkies.
Here we
Objection.
go. Hold it. All right. This is our Halloween costumes.
Yeah. What do you guys think?
Yeah. Awesome.
Clearly,
Amazing.
one of us is better than the other.
The two of us,
Clearly.
actually. I think.
Yeah, you two, right? Or
no.
no, that's me and him. Me and him. Are the best
Yeah.
ones.
So, this episode is kind of ramshackly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Austin, I know you just got your costume like less than an hour ago, probably.
Yeah.
Like yesterday.
No, okay, yesterday.
Yeah.
That's different.
Yep.
I got mine like last week, I think.
Yeah, I think Hunter's looks the best. Mine, this is not my whole costume because when I actually have the whole thing, it'll look nicer. To clarify, I have a full schedule today, which has almost never happened in my life. So I just came from Cave, where I was studying with my teacher, and now after this, I'm going to Hunter's house because we're gonna go to a hockey game. So I'm wearing a hockey shirt underneath my outfit right now because I didn't have a button up.
For clarification, for anyone that can't tell, which I mean,
Oh, yeah.
obviously you can tell from our costumes,
Yeah.
Right.
is we are Phoenix Wright characters, Ace Attorney.
I'm Phoenix.
Also, our kind of intro was.
Yeah.
Order in the
Order in the
court.
court. Yeah.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen in real life.
Phoenix, Edgeworth, Judge.
Judge. Man, I wish that lawyers were real, dude.
Yeah,
And
I
not
wish
just in video
I wish
games.
lawyers were real people.
My gavel is totally a gavel,
Yeah.
not a sledgehammer
Are they
that
real
I cut in
people?
half.
I really love the juxtaposition of our costumes to yours. It's so funny. This image here is gonna go down in history as like
The
a
question is-
Media Junkies classic.
Luke, the question is, right? Are lawyers real people?
Oh, they might be robots.
They're snakes.
Yeah, yeah.
They're bloodsuckers.
You lawyers are all slime. Who said it? Frank saw it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Who done it?
Our mics are kind of close today, so hopefully we don't get too much echo.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
hopefully.
Wait, do you think we should just throw our headphones on real quick to hear if it's like me? You know, but this whole time they can't hear us because.
We only need one headphone. Like I just need to listen to
Yeah,
it.
let's just make sure.
Yeah.
I don't want to like we plug them in with just the loudest sound ever.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot I took my
I
headphones out.
Okay.
Mine's over there somewhere.
Okay.
This part will be cut out. Don't worry about
Okay,
it.
great.
Yeah.
No, nope, wrong.
Should I wait? Should I
Mine
send you
broke
guys
my-
the picture that I
Bro.
just took of all of us?
Oh, it's over here.
You just did. Oh, that you
I didn't
cropped
send it
out?
to you, and I didn't.
Oh yeah, send it to us.
Okay.
Alright, let's see.
So you
I
guys.
really hope you
Luke
plug
could
it in.
possibly post it on Instagram, or.
I could. That is true. Oh, actually, I might do that.
Yeah.
Should post us on the Instagram.
Ooh, should we?
You
Should we
should-
post? Should we post it now?
I will post it.
What minutes I'm saying?
I'll post it when we're at your house when we're goofing off.
All right.
I really hope that you plug
God,
it
I
in.
feel like I'm like in a case of like I don't know, like
Ace
I'm.
Attorney?
Yeah. No, like I'm encased.
Oh.
Oh.
Can't even see it.
Okay.
I really hope your head just like exploded when you did
Check.
It is.
check.
It is sent.
Check. We
Check.
sound.
Check.
We sound beautiful.
Let's go.
Incredible.
Of course
And
we
we
sound
look
beautiful.
beautiful.
Of course we sound beautiful.
Of course we look beautiful.
Even though I kind
Alright.
of am a little bit under
Are we
the
gonna
weather,
cut back?
Yeah. Okay.
You better delineate by slamming the gavel.
Yep. Gotcha. All right.
Court is now back in.
Yeah.
That was a brief recess.
but- Hold it.
We had to hold a brief recess.
Check our mics.
So just this is our spooky special for the year. What do we have any plans for Halloween? What's going on?
No.
Yeah, I'm not
no.
doing it.
We had
We had plans.
and then it changed. The plans changed to actually happen sooner. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had our hangout. Faith, the video game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Really
Yep.
good
The
game.
Unholy Trinity.
Yes. It was very fun. I was the one playing it.
Yeah. Of course.
It was phenomenal. Very scary.
Yeah.
Actually
I'm glad.
terrifying.
It
Very-
was really creepy.
Very creepy.
Did you enjoy the story? I know. I
did enjoy the story. It was a lot to unpack.
There was a lot. It was a lot of. Yeah. It was very confusing, and also again, you missed a lot of like notes that have some clarification, but you got the main points.
But I like stuff
Yeah.
like that
Yeah.
where you have to like dig
Right.
deeper.
I really wanted you to hear mostly about stuff like Gary and the second death.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It
A lot of really good horror concepts.
very good.
Yeah.
A lot of good moments.
Yeah.
It was just very fun
a lot of
overall.
good scares.
Yep.
Awesome.
So any plans for Halloween? Nothing.
No.
No trick
No?
or treating.
Well, that's today.
That's today's trick or treat.
Oh, trick or treats today.
and I'm going
Yeah.
to hockey. So.
No. Well, have fun playing hockey. I guess.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, we're me and Luke are gonna play hockey in these
That-
suits. We're going to the hockey
Yeah.
game in these suits.
Yeah.
That pause really made that joke better.
Yeah.
Well, have fun.
Have fun playing
good.
hockey.
Yeah. So if we don't have any other, what about just general?
Oh,
small
Everhood.
talk? That's right. Yeah.
I have
recent
a
rap.
funny story. I beat it last night, by the way.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I have a funny story about this. So I was just scrolling on the eShop one day because I just got $10, and I was like, what
I
should I
just
get? It's under
got
$10.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw a few games that were on sale, and I told Austin, I haven't told you this yet because I was going back and forth between two games that were on sale, and it was Everhood and Dying Light. And I was going to text them, but then I was like, I know that they're gonna say Dying Light because I don't think either of them ever heard of Everhood. So I just bought Everhood because I was like, I think I'm gonna like it more because I like more of the indie games. I like kind of more adventurous and weird concepts. So I thought I would like that, and I like music stuff because I knew it was music based.
Yeah.
And of course, it was the perfect game for me, and I really enjoyed it. And I texted them, I was just playing this cool new little indie game called Everhood, and Austin was like, "You're playing Everhood?" Like, he already knew, and I didn't know he knew about it.
Fun fact: I actually just started playing it again before this episode.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Oh, cool.
I played I got through the first
Song.
the fight in the club or whatever.
Oh yeah, that part is.
Yeah,
It's
it's really
the
good.
music's really good. I showed my sister. I'm playing with my sister too, and we just got there.
What'd you
too.
think about the finale?
The finale was really amazing.
Yeah.
Kind of confusing. I wish there was like a video essay where I can like kind of learn the
Yeah,
story.
that's
Yeah.
another thing. Is no, there's barely any content.
I found one video essay that was posted like 8 days ago, and I haven't watched it yet.
They knew you were playing the game. They
Yeah,
had to
right.
get it
Yeah,
out.
so what I thought was funny is that it's it seems like it'd be a game that people would like more, but it really is not as popular as I thought it would be.
No.
But it really does feel like the kind of indie game people could get into. I don't know. But I super enjoyed it. I thought it had a really good story, really, really cool characters. Really, really intriguing like concept. It's almost like reverse Undertale with like the pacifist genocide stuff.
Yeah. Very good.
Well, Hunter doesn't know that. I'll explain this a little bit
It
actually.
kind of also looks kind of like Guitar Hero.
Yeah.
Yeah, a
People
little
always
bit.
say it's Guitar Hero mixed with Undertale.
Well, I don't
which
think it's
it
close
is.
to either one of them.
it is, but
I think
it's also very much its own thing.
Yeah.
But the point of the game. This is big spoilers, obviously. But when you get halfway through the game, you get the ability to kill all the people that are in the world. And the thing about them is that they're all immortal. So they've been living here for like eons and eons. And so they want to die. So like killing them is actually the good route, and sparing them makes bad stuff happen. So it's kind of like a reverse Undertale.
Yeah.
It's very, very cool. And I beat the game last night, and actually did do the pacifist run too, and I defeated. I don't know if you remember what happens if you do the pacifist run, and there's a really
The
hard
one where you don't kill people?
Yeah, and you have to fight a really hard boss.
I don't remember. I don't know which route I went the first
They
time
do
I
that
played.
a
Probably
lot.
did the genocide. The game pushes you towards killing the people. And that's the one that has all like the crazy visuals and you the pink at the end.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was the route I went.
But the pacifist route, you have to fight like pretty much the Saiyans of that game. But it's
Yeah, they do that a lot. It's
it's-
always like the harder boss is kind of locked behind.
Yeah, and it's has a really good song, and it's like he's a guy, he's fine, got guitars all around him. You remember that? You don't remember this?
Oh,
Yeah.
kind of, yeah.
Yeah, it was really hard.
Well, it's hard to remember because the visuals are just like so
Yeah, I know.
like it's everything.
Dude, I
all
love
at once.
playing. Like I showed my sister. We got past the gnome fight last night. Do you remember that fight? It's like there's gnomes and start like multiplying all over the screen, and eventually it just comes like it looks like static because there's so many gnomes on screen. It's so good. The visuals are really cool.
Yeah.
And Morse Critical gave it a 90% on the Morse meter, which is like he doesn't do that very often.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
doesn't.
it's pretty good.
I think
Cuphead.
Cuphead was the first one he did.
Cuphead was
So-
one of the first few.
A really good game. I recommend it. It's on sale right now on Switch. And so is Dying Light, which I probably will.
I feel
get
like
soon
we've
enough
had
for-
a recent rec like every episode.
Uh-oh.
You guys hear that? That's the
That's the alarm to get out of small talk. It's
yeah.
time to start the episode.
Yeah, right on time.
Here we go.
Yeah. So for today's first,
It's still going.
yeah.
Hey, come on.
It adds
Stop
to the
it.
aesthetic. Okay.
Yeah, the Halloween
Yeah.
panic episode.
Yeah. So our first little section here for our spooky special. Favorite horror media. What do we got?
Ooh.
So I just want to talk about like anything, like all. don't listen to that, okay?
Okay.
The zombies are not coming after us right
Yeah.
now. Don't worry about it.
Actually, I see one.
I have my
right-
sledgehammer. In
Yeah,
case
I see
do.
one right over there.
Yeah.
Oh, you're really picking up that
I'm gonna
sledgehammer.
have to object that.
Yeah. Hold it. Okay.
Hold
You
it.
said the thing.
Stop.
Oh, nice. Oh, yeah. It's favorite horror media.
Yeah. So just go down the line. Just throw some out there. You know.
Well, for me, it's games. I think just because it's more personal. You
Yeah.
know, like you feel more scared because you're the one actually making yourself get scared.
Right. So it's more involved.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can do a lot more with horror games.
I think so,
obviously,
too.
Than like
I'm gonna-
movies.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Although horror movies are
I'm
good
gonna
too.
cross-examine whatever you just said.
No, okay.
Well, I think like Quiet Place is a good example of a good horror movie. What about you, Hunter? What do you think?
It just.
Because you play a lot of horror games.
I mean, I guess it really just depends. I
Yeah.
don't watch much movies either, but I don't really play much. I mean, I play horror games. It just really depends on the horror game, really, because nowadays it's kind of horror games aren't as good as they used to be. Because
Yeah.
every game is just now repeating the same thing.
Yeah, the best ones are the ones that aren't doing that, I think.
Yeah, like there's a lot of games now. Again, we talked about this before,
Mm-hmm.
where they just use the mic audio and like
Yeah.
it can be used in a good way. Like Fears to Fathom, that's used in a very good way because it's not used all the time. It's used in like certain points of the game.
Right.
But when it's used all the time, it just gets annoying. Like
Yeah.
it's
They rely a lot on gimmicks, I feel like, nowadays, which
Yeah.
is kind of pushes away from what horror is supposed to be, I feel like.
Yeah.
I don't really think there is like one form of just horror that's best.
I agree.
Over kind.
Yeah.
I think so, too. I think they have their...
I will say, and this is a rare chance here, that I think we can all agree that books are the least fun.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think horror books are very scary.
Books are very much like psychological, like, they make you think about the scary
Yeah.
thing. But, like, you don't really get, like, I don't know.
You don't get to see it.
You don't get the
happening
same,
to you.
yeah, you don't get, like, the same suspense of just, like, oh, what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
Because
like-
you can just, like, close the book. You know
Yeah.
what I
You
mean?
watch
Yeah.
because you can watch like it, right? But you can also read it. You're gonna be a lot more scared when you're watching the movie
That is true.
than if you're reading the book.
Unless
Yeah.
certain words scare you. Wait,
Clown.
what's that one, like, fear people have of, like, the fear of long words? And it itself
It's
is,
like
a really long
hippo.
word.
It's
Yeah.
like hippo something.
It's like, yeah, it's so funny.
Let's look this
very
up.
good.
Yeah, it's very important. Good question. I like that one.
The scariest thing about the book, is how long it is. Yeah,
That is pretty scary.
It's a very long
Wait, every
book.
time I do my laugh, I disappear from it.
Oh yeah, it's okay, you know.
It's okay. It's gonna sound cool to be like, ha ha ha.
Yeah. Pretty much.
It's hippo
Oh my word.
hippopoto monstro sesqu. I'm not gonna say all that.
It's
I
very.
think
It's
Hunter
just-
has that.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's like a paradox.
I'm not
It's
scared
Oh,
of
yeah.
it. I just like why?
Yeah.
Oh, somebody else. They also just call it hippophobia.
Hippophobia.
A fear of
I'm really
hippos.
scared of hippos.
Hippopotamus.
They're very.
Oh, I
scary.
do have a little bit more small talk before you go on. Actually.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know. I've talked to you guys about this as much as I feel like I should have. But I'm very passionate about one specific N64 game called Banjo Kazooie. Have you ever heard of it? He's in
Yeah,
Smash
I've
Brothers.
heard of it. Yeah.
And when it came out on Switch, I played it to death. I think it's probably my most replayed game of all time, like 4 or
Yeah.
5 times probably.
Well,
And-
we're talking about horror.
And I know. This was supposed to be in small talk. I
know,
forgot
I'm
about
kidding.
it. And yesterday they put the sequel on Switch for the first time.
Oh.
And I told my brother, like, this is probably the happiest you'll ever see me. I was like giddy and like shaking while I was playing it.
Yeah.
I was like, this is so, like, it's so good. Those games are really fun. They're like the best 3D platformers you'll ever play, without a doubt.
Yeah.
I've never played them.
yeah, so yeah,
I've
Banjo
heard a lot
Kazooie
of
is really good.
things.
Yeah, there were two, but they're both so N64 games, and then they tried to make other games after that, and they were all just abysmal, and like everyone hated
Oh.
them. And the last one they
Yeah.
made was like in 2008 or something, and then like haven't tried since because it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really wanted to make like a revitalization of the older ones,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're really good. So that was a tangent, but let's go back into
that
spooky
happens
stuff.
A lot
Yeah.
of games.
Back in the spooky mood.
Well,
time.
okay, so we determined favorite form of media. So say it's games, you know, throw some out there.
Faith.
Faith.
Faith is my
Faith
favorite
is
horror
Faith is
game.
good.
Faith is your favorite horror game of all
Yeah,
time?
I said this last
We'll
time
look
too.
at some of the horror games I
Just
have.
because it has a really good story and because it's personal to me, obviously with the whole religion and stuff, and because it has really good scares.
Yeah.
A lot of things about it. FNAF is good, but FNAF is also is very like watered down.
Yeah.
You know, it's very washed up. But
It's
I
less
still love it.
scary.
I still think the story is really good.
Yeah, they can get you sometimes with.
It's kind of like the
games.
MCU. Like I want it to be over. You know, I want it to
Yeah.
have like a satisfying conclusion.
Yeah, I think after oh god, what was it called?
Security breach.
No.
Pizzeria Sim?
Pizzeria Sim. I think that was the best.
That's where a lot of people.
conclusion.
Yeah, that's,
I don't know
that's
if
like the
you're-
end game of the series.
Yeah.
I don't know if you were saying when it should end. Should have just ended at like. Security
Yeah, I
breach or
think
not.
that's like my canon ending for the series.
And then I
Right.
think Ultimate Custom Night also doesn't really make it too. Because I think Ultimate Custom Night also kind of added to the end of like Afton's story with the whole purgatory thing.
Right.
So I think that one can be fine too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely feel like the like VR game is where it started to get kind of like.
Yeah.
What about you, Hunter? What's your favorite horror game?
I think we already know this one.
Oh, Bendy and the Uncle
Yep.
Chunk.
Yes,
Bendy
sir.
Alpha Chunky.
One of the best games, like game series, I think, to ever be released.
Yeah.
Is Bendy and the
It's very
Ink Machine.
popular,
And
and
it's
I,
like,
I remember I played half of it and I liked it.
yeah,
And
the
the new
first
game's
game
coming out soon.
First game
Yep.
is out, obviously. Second game's out. Third game coming out next year.
Yep. Very
I
exciting.
hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you hate when games have a long time to release, and you hate when they release right now.
No, okay. It's when they release randomly
Yeah.
without like any warning.
Like Pizza Tower, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, my
Um,
voice just cracked like crazy.
But it's just I just like I hate when games take too long, but also it's also good sometimes. I just don't like
kind of
shadow
like the like
drops.
anticipation when I'm like waiting, like, oh, it's gonna come out.
I still think the scariest horror game I've ever played is Outlast.
Oh yeah,
So
I want to play that too. That's on
scary.
Switch too.
It's horrifying.
That would be a good hangout, I think.
Yeah, it would be.
Although I did get like I watched like the first probably 10 minutes of it, so I got one of the jump scares real spoiled for me.
Oh god.
But he got me. Like, I was
That-
watching Mark play, and I was
How
like, oh!
dare you?
That game is unsettling.
You got spoiled. How dare you?
It also kind of has religious themes too.
Yeah.
But not in the same way Faith did.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, faith is like his whole big thing is just
Yeah, well,
religion.
Faith is also very much like it makes it like puts it in the good light. Anyway,
Well, yeah,
yeah. I love horror stuff.
Yeah, horror games.
horror
very
games
good.
are good.
For the next part, I just wanted to kind of talk about the psychology behind horror.
I like this.
Ooh.
I have some
Psychological
questions
horror.
written down, and I want us to have an in-depth conversation here.
In depth.
In-depth.
About kind of, just. Well, I'll just start with the questions. It's hard to explain. First question is, what makes something scary? What scares you? You guys ready to talk about paradox or not?
What scares me when they make me read.
Yeah.
Okay.
Could be.
Time to take it seriously.
I mentioned in I think it was the last episode that I watched Skinamarink, and that it was the scariest movie I'd ever seen.
Yeah. Oh, I should have said analog horror for the media one. That's also a really
Analog
good one.
horror really good. I think analog horror is the scariest form of horror.
I agree.
Ever.
I wholeheartedly agree.
There's rarely any jump scares. It's just very unsettling. It
Yeah, they
builds
just-
tension.
Right.
Yeah.
I think horror is most effective when you're thinking about when like you're kind of
The
on edge and
boiled
scared,
one.
even when you're not interacting with the media.
Yeah,
You know
because
what I mean?
the scariest thing is what you can't see.
Right.
It's
Yes.
the fear of the unknown. When movies, like you just like show you the monster. Most of the time, it's like, well, it's not as scary as I was picturing.
Yeah. Right.
And it's just, I don't know. It's like analog horror, like Skinamarink, just like it builds and builds and builds the tension, but it never
Yeah,
gives you the comfort
And like
of knowing what's there.
like Mandela Catalog does it really cool too, where like they'll show you a picture of like a distorted picture of someone, and like that's what they look like, but like you never actually see what they look like actually. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So it really, like plays with your imagination and makes you really freak out.
Yeah.
Super good.
It's very good.
Yeah, so that's how I know when horror is effective, when I'm like still paranoid about it.
Right.
I've only, this only happened once in my life, but have you ever been so scared that your teeth are actually chattering?
I don't think so.
I think I've been worried.
I always
I've
thought that was
never
like a cartoonish thing. It's not actually real. I one time woke up from a nightmare and my teeth were actually chattering. Like I was
Really?
like, yeah, I could like
Do you
hear it.
remember the nightmare?
Well, it's kind of
We
embarrassing.
could go over some.
I've
crazy
had
nightmares.
I would like that.
Yeah.
This I was probably like 7. I had a because there was like a Curious George Halloween special, right?
Oh,
And there
jeez.
was a scarecrow who would like kick off people's hats, and his name was No Noggin, which I still think is actually kind of a cool
That's
like.
a cool concept
Yeah,
to think of.
I think so too.
Yeah.
But I had a dream that he like shot people instead of kicking off their
Oh,
hats.
no.
And I had a dream that he like chased me. And I in the dream it started and I thought it was real. Where I was like in my room and like lightning flashes through my window and he was like out there like this or something,
Oh,
but he didn't have a
no.
face, right? So because
Yeah.
he's No Noggin, because he has no noggin.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that freaked me out. And then he like chased me. And then I thought I got away from him, and then like I turned around and he was there, kind of like in Faith when he turned around and Gary's there. It was
yeah.
almost exactly like that actually. And then I woke up and my teeth were chattering,
Oh.
and I kept staring at my door like he's gonna come in.
I didn't know teeth chattering was
I didn't either.
was a scared kind of thing.
I didn't either.
I've done it when I'm like really cold.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I do it when I'm cold.
No, my room. I remember actually my room being hot when I woke up too.
Yeah.
So
That's, yeah.
Strange.
because I remember thinking like, wow, my teeth are chattering and it's not cold. So I was like,
So
craziness.
is there a definite thing that we think makes things scary? You know,
I think
I,
it's
don't know,
just.
I think it's pretty a lot. There's a
I
lot
think
of
it's
Yeah.
just whatever scares you most makes everything
yeah,
more scary.
sure.
yeah,
That's
because
actually good.
lots of people the Skinnamaring, for example, is very divisive to where people either love it or they hate it because some people just think it's really boring and they're not scared by
Right.
it at all.
That's because they
But-
don't have attention spans.
Yeah, no attention spans. They're always on TikTok.
Exactly.
And the Gram Insta.
yeah, chat snap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're definitely not posting there
Someone did a poll in
every
our school
Tuesday.
of like the social media that kids use, and like Snapchat was the lowest, and I was like, they have to be lying.
Yeah.
There's
That
no
has to
way.
be lying, yeah.
Also, I just realized I don't think we ever even mentioned we have an Instagram now.
Yeah, we have an
Oh yeah, well
Instagram.
we mentioned like talking about starting it, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Go follow it.
Yeah,
Uh,
Free
It's
Media
been-
Junkies.
I'm still kind of getting my bearings with it, but we're gonna start to get more frequent
Yeah.
posts, different kind
Yeah.
of things.
You'll
maybe some-
see us in these costumes.
Yeah,
this.
like if we have an event, like if we're hanging out playing a game or something or watching a movie, then we'll talk about
we'll
it on
start
the
doing
Instagram.
that. We'll start doing
Yeah.
that more.
So make sure you follow it so we can start getting some more fans.
Uh-huh.
Yes, sir.
Get a fan base going.
And we can make them jealous of how cool we are.
Well, yeah,
Yes,
we
sir.
can. We really can.
I mean,
Look
look
at
at
a guy
us.
wearing.
Look at us.
Yeah, this image right here is how
Yeah.
cool we are.
I mean,
Heck
look at us.
yeah.
I'm wearing a suit, and I don't usually wear suits.
That is true. Hunter in a suit is very refreshing.
I
will
hate
say.
I hate suits.
And in the cravat.
Yeah.
In my
Caravat.
caravan.
Yeah.
Next-
Oh, we should have gotten something. My brother should have been Dick Gumshoe. I just thought about
yeah,
that.
that would've been
Next time.
Gumshoe, but
Yeah.
you wouldn't.
Or my dad or something.
Mhm.
I mean, have a
cameo.
guest in her
Yeah.
cameo. or
Next,
whatever.
next question I have written down here: psychology behind horror. Differences between psychological thriller and horror, and which is better?
Ooh.
So,
I think psychological is like obviously it messes with your head more.
right.
Yeah, I think that's
and it's
better.
it's more of just like going.
I would say Skinamarink is
In your head.
psychological.
Oh yeah, that's like the highest end of the spectrum. I
Yeah.
think for
Yeah,
psychological.
and horror
stuff.
is like just
Jump scares.
it's just jump
and
scares,
monsters.
kill like
Yeah.
killings in a
Ooh,
weird
look
way.
at this monster he made.
Yeah.
Look at this scary guy.
blood on the-
Psychological is more
Our
like-
makeup team's really good.
Yeah.
Should have hired them to do
Right.
my. I was saying I should have just shaved my head.
That would have been the biggest
told
jump
her-
scare of them all.
Yeah.
He's like really going
the
hard in
secret,
this costume.
The secret media junkie.
But then it would have looked good, and I think
Then it would have looked good. Dang.
It
This looks amazing. This looks better than
Yeah,
yours.
what do you mean?
This looks so good.
Looks better than
I mean,
looks-
what do you mean?
Yeah, what do you mean? I'm
It looks-
Order
it
in
looks-
the court.
It looks better than ours.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
right.
mean, maybe. So what do we think's better?
Oh, we should do a poll. Whose costume is best on it?
Ooh.
Obviously, it's
Maybe.
obviously it's
Yeah.
Rub my bald head, guys.
Yeah, see,
Rub it. Come on.
Magical.
Yeah, there we go. Okay. So what do we think's better?
This podcast is
Psychological,
insane.
psychological, or your standard?
I
horror?
think psychological is
Psychological is probably
definitely- like
scarier.
it's like so much better than.
I'd say
Yeah.
it's definitely scarier, but I will say standard horror is probably more fun. most of
Yeah,
the
I
time.
think so too.
Yeah,
I
I
think
th-
it's more of a.
if we're going based off scares, I think horror is like here,
And
and then
think-
like psychological. is
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
here.
I think you can also get a good mix of both. Like
Yeah.
stuff like FNAF, I think did a good job of like making you also like paranoid about concepts and like
Right.
your
They
mind.
tend to get quirky at night.
Yeah, and also like just
Well, because there's jump scares, but there's also a really good story and atmosphere just like around you that isn't
Yeah.
explained to you.
and
Yeah.
and it does build suspense and tension even with the story of like you don't get to see these events happen, but you know they
Yeah.
did and that they're terrifying.
Because in the
Right.
games, they just tell you, hey, the animatronics tend to get quirky at night.
Yeah, but
That's all the guy tells you. He doesn't know anything about the fact that there's
Well,
children in those suits.
on night 4 he does.
Yeah.
What does he know that there's children in them though?
Well, he gets eaten by one, so he
Well,
never
he-
gets the chance.
No, I know, but that he gets eaten by one. I'm saying that
Anyway.
he doesn't know that they're.
Well, if FNAF 4 was our 6th episode, that's so far in the past. at
I
this
know.
point. We
Yeah.
matured so much.
Man, you still have the numbers memorized.
Do you
don't
remember the? Oh yeah, I do. Do you remember the FNAF movie? When that came out,
Yes.
and that was like the biggest event in our Media Junkie lives.
Yeah, that was crazy.
It's gonna be
you
a
know?
great.
Just thinking back on the previous Spooky Special.
I know.
You know, it's
Yeah.
just-
Yeah, and that episode was so iconic.
I already know
was
the
very
next FNAF movie is gonna be great.
I'm
Yeah.
excited for it.
Toy
So
Chica's gonna be in it probably.
Yeah.
the next
So is Foxy.
the next little question I have here: what is something so scary that you've seen in media that made you look away? You could not.
Oh my gosh.
You could not watch
Dude,
it.
everything. If
Ooh.
I'm not with other people, I'm like probably absorbing 25% of what I'm watching. And
Well, this is more specifically. I mean, like you stopped consuming whatever you were.
Oh.
like you
oh,
just you just
oh,
stopped.
this just happened recently. What was it? Oh gosh darn it! It did. I know it did. Okay, well, there's another one I can think of before that. There's a game called Happy Game. I was telling you guys about this
yeah.
game, and I've tried like three different times to finish the playthrough of it, and I just couldn't do it.
He hates when no one talks about it.
It's
too.
not happy. I'm assuming.
No.
It's It's really.
It's disturbing, but like the visuals are disturbing, but also just like
everything else in the game is disturbing.
because like,
I'm gonna
it
look this up.
activates all my empathy cells. Like what happens to the main character is like so upsetting and depressing, and it makes me like my like, empathy cells like, explode or whatever.
Oh,
yeah.
This is interesting.
That's exactly that's the exact visual I was thinking of when I said that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
wild.
they look happy, you know.
It's a metaphor
Happy
for
in
like,
a weird
drug
way.
trips and stuff, but like it's really upsetting.
Yeah, it looks
I don't like
upsetting.
it. Even just like the first part of it, like the way it starts off, makes me like so like upset and.
Is it like a horror game?
Not. It's definitely more psychological.
It's definitely
thriller.
a psychological.
There's nothing really scary about it at all.
Yeah. Interesting.
There's not. It's not horror. It's
Yeah.
psychological.
Yeah.
Mostly. It's
Interesting.
It's more like less of a psychological thriller, more of like a psychological like make you sad and you know that's pretty much it.
Right.
And there was something else recently where I was like trying to watch. I can't remember what it was now.
Mm-hmm.
Was it something analog? Oh, it was. It was an analog horror. I don't know if you've ever heard of the analog horror called Pets Cop.
Oh.
I never heard of that one before.
That's like the fake video game, dude. It's so cool.
It is cool. I think I got probably it was like a big what's it called like video essay about it. Got about 3 hours in. And it was 2, so combined they were about 5 hours. Or combined they were 5 hours total. And I got like probably 3 hours in, and I was like, no more.
It's very scary.
It's very
Yeah.
upsetting.
Yeah, I
Again,
actually
like-
don't remember a whole lot about it, but
It's like it's all metaphors for like child abuse and stuff. And I was like,
yeah,
I can't
it's
do that.
it's very
Yeah.
very.
But it was really
upsetting.
the storytelling was amazing. I
Yeah.
really must start
because
encouraged to finish it.
it starts
someday.
off as just like a very simple like game where there's not even like a whole lot to do.
It's kind of like Pokemon, like you're collecting pets and stuff. But
Yeah.
then it
Yeah.
becomes.
Yeah, is it an actual game that you can play?
Well, a fan made it into one. But,
Oh, okay.
But because the game itself was like sentient or whatever, and like it adapts to other players playing it, and it like manipulates them and stuff. So that's kind of part of
Ooh,
it.
That's
Yeah.
weird.
So that's why it's kind of hard to make it playable because it
Yeah.
adapts to your personality or whatever.
What about you, Hunter? Is there any form of horror that you just couldn't handle?
Or just so masculine and macho,
Yeah.
nothing gets past
Well, it's
me.
not masculine much. I mean, the only horror I really consume that much anymore is video games. I don't really watch much movies either. Like just any type of movie, I just don't watch.
Mm.
But
Well, you watched Quiet Place. That was pretty good.
well, yeah, Quiet Place is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But if I had to say one thing, I don't know. It's just I don't know how to explain what I'm thinking because it's
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was called, but it was that one Pikachu thing.
That's what I was thinking you were gonna say.
It was like this weird like
Another analog horror.
it was like an analog horror, and it was this game where you have to it terrified the crap out of me. When I played it, I watched a video on some guy talking about it and stuff like that, and after I watched that video, every single like a good week I think or so after I watched it, before I went to sleep, my body just like froze.
Yeah.
And I could just like my eyes just closed for a second. I just saw the picture of like the terrifying Pikachu.
Yeah, there are
and
some
it was
things-
like that is like one of the few things that has like actually like terrified me to my core. And it wasn't even that scary of a video. I don't know why it like
it's
still
stuff like that when it's
mess
like
with me.
because you obviously grew up with those characters in that
Yeah.
story, so that's probably part of it too. Where like it's
but it
being
was just
twisted in
Pikachu.
such
It was
a
only
way.
Pikachu that was like really
Oh, yeah,
in
but
the
still.
thing. It was everything else wasn't a Pokemon. It was just Pikachu. And it
Like
was named
there was a
something
thing
else.
in Mario Galaxy 2 where there's like a weird Easter egg where if you look up into the skybox, there's like this giant looming creature. They don't,
Oh,
yeah, they
yeah.
don't look giant from your angle.
remember
but
that,
Yeah, they're
yeah.
called like Hell Valley Sky Trees or whatever.
Yeah.
There's a whole like mythos about them or whatever. But
Yeah.
that as a kid that freaked me out. I never played Mario Galaxy 2 after. I never haven't beaten that game because of it.
As a kid,
Come on, Luke.
As a kid, I think Freddy Krueger scared me the most. Just the idea of someone being able to
Yeah.
get into
Yeah.
your dreams.
I think my parents did a good job of like shielding me from that kind of stuff because I was
Yeah.
very anxious. Like again, Curious George made my teeth chatter.
If you just like
but like
Yeah.
you know,
Um,
they knew that I have really bad anxiety about that kind of stuff.
can't you just like beat him by just ignoring him? Basically.
Freddy Krueger.
Not really.
Like the old lady in the elevator.
I mean, it's kind of hard to ignore him when he like manipulates your dreams or whatever.
I mean,
and
yeah,
makes
but you just
dream.
gotta like I don't know who you are.
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
Freddy Krueger, who's that?
Actually, I haven't watched the movies in a while, but my cousin and I, when we were little, we had the entire box set. And every time
cool.
he would come over, we'd watch through all of them in one
Nice.
sitting. And there's
That's
like
cool.
7
What?
or 8 movies, I think. So.
How many times did you do that?
And now that I think
A
about
lot.
it, okay, I don't know. This might be another question you have, but like Goosebumps, I think was the first horror media. I was like,
Goosebumps was like
Yeah.
was
I'm
so
so
good.
glad you mentioned that. Goosebumps is probably my first exposure to horror.
yeah, that's
I
what I
ever
was saying.
had.
I think it's a lot of people's
Favorite Goosebumps episode thing right now.
Slappy.
Slappy,
Because,
100%.
like,
he's such a good villain.
He's such a good character. dude.
No.
Oh, you make me want to go.
Like,
Like, let me see if it's on
episode.
Netflix though.
One of my favorite things. I don't know why this episode is like it just hits something in my brain that will always like it just like scares me, but I also just love it. It's the Worms episode.
Oh,
Where like
Which one was that?
it's the one where like I don't know how to explain it. I don't know
yes,
the
it's on
name.
Netflix. I'm binging
it
this
is on
later.
Netflix?
Oh my
Yes.
gosh! Wait, no.
There he is.
Oh, this is the new one.
Yeah.
No, that's old. That's the older one.
Is it?
It says only 12 episodes though.
That's the old show from 1998.
Yeah, but it only has 12 episodes.
I don't know why. That's weird.
Huh.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
yeah, they must only have a certain.
I love.
certain amount.
When I was. Oh, this is on Netflix too now. By the way, this is a.
Oh,
I'm getting
yeah.
distracted. Anyway, yeah, Goosebumps was and like even looking back on it now, I'm like there was some pretty messed up stuff in that because I
Yeah.
read the books and
The
watched
dog-
the show.
I did too. I
Bro,
would
the
go to
dog's
the.
eyes changing.
I would go to the library like every day and get like 5 Goosebumps books
Oh,
and
man.
read through all of
You're
them
making me
in
want to
one
do it
day.
again. You're making me
Yeah.
want to do that again.
It
dude.
was those books are phenomenal.
They're really
And
good.
Do you?
But
I
he was
don't-
from Ohio.
Did you read the
Yeah.
ones? My favorite one. It was like how they had like kind of like some of them were in like a little mini series collection kind of
Yeah.
like they were part of a series
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah, Slappy had like what, like 8 or 9 different
Yeah.
episodes.
Yeah.
Do you remember the book? I don't know if they did any episodes on it, but the book series where it was the amusement park.
Slappy Land.
Yeah,
I had the box set
think-
of that
I
one.
think it's where like all of the creatures and like characters from past
Yes,
books. Like
I know what you're talking
It
about.
was so good.
Yeah,
it was
dude,
amazing.
Oh, you make me want to. Oh, I know. Okay.
That's such a
How many
childhood.
goose? I want to like.
The Worms one was like basically what happened was like I don't remember how it began, but it had a lot to do with worms.
Holy,
Obviously.
it's like a manga. There were over 230 Goosebumps books.
Jeez.
At the time when I was a kid, I read all of them more than once.
Oh.
like
Okay, but there's
so good.
there's 62. I'm gonna look up Goosebumps box set and put it on my
Mm.
Christmas list. There are 62 books that he wrote.
Okay.
Horrorland, that's the one I was thinking. of.
Horrorland, yeah,
Ah.
yeah.
Yeah, I
that's
had that
what
box set and I had the Slappyland box set.
Yeah.
The first one I read was Attack of the. It was like a praying mantis where they went to like a
I remember
theme
that
park.
one.
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
You remember the mask one, the Halloween where she gets the mask?
Oh,
dude.
yes.
Oh, that one makes my skin crawl.
Yeah.
The werewolf one too is pretty.
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
creepy.
What other?
This is 30 books, just 30 of them, and it's $70.
Wow, that's
Jeez.
a
I knew
lot.
they were going to be expensive.
But yeah.
Well, when you buy them as a box set like that.
I know. I
Yeah.
love box. When I was a kid,
Yeah.
I was obsessed with box sets. We're getting off on a tangent.
Yeah.
I could talk about Goosebumps all day.
It's
though.
alright. Goosebumps is a
It's
very
really
good
good.
form. It was probably my first exposure to reading in general. Like,
Oh, really?
that's
Yeah,
really what got me
That's a
into
good
it.
thing. That's a good exposure to have. I was always obsessed with like the macabre as a kid. I would get like scary story books from the library and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we can segue into this next question. If you had to make your own scary form of media, what would it be and why?
Probably a game. Although I don't know
Ooh.
that I'd be good at it because I don't think I'm very good at making.
Let's
scares.
workshop an idea. What
Okay.
what kind of concept for a game would you want to make? You know, like
It would definitely have to be something fresh. Well, because if I wanted to make a game, it wouldn't be a horror game. You know,
Okay.
so maybe,
Yeah.
maybe that's not a good one for me.
mm,
Because if I made a game, it'd be like the flashiest, most like absurd game you've ever seen in your life.
yeah,
Yeah.
With like crazy visuals and stuff and music, but for a horror game, that's different.
yeah.
I don't know.
yeah.
Why I have been workshopping a horror book. Remember, I talked about that.
True.
Oh, yeah.
Which I haven't read. I gotta maybe now that I'm back in the spooky mood, I should keep writing it. It was really good. I had a lot of really good concepts for it. I got about halfway through writing it too.
Oh, good.
So I might get working on that again. But
yeah.
that book would probably be what I
Book.
would do.
Yeah.
Even though we just talked about how that's probably not a good.
Yeah.
winner.
It's fun though. It's easy. It's not easy. It's cheap.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
not very it's cost effective. And then for the last question here, psychology behind horror. What is your worst fear and why? I'm sure we talked about it in the last Spooky Special.
Snakes.
I want to get back into
Yeah,
it.
his
Luke?
is snakes.
Snakes.
It's like
yes.
iconic at this
Mhm.
point.
What about you, Hunter? What's your worst?
What about
fear?
you, Hunter?
It's difficult.
Ink machines, dude.
Yeah, ink machines
I hate
terrify
ink
the heck out of me.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like I feel like
Did you see that pop up? What was that?
I don't know.
Mystery.
it's
I'm trying to figure out how to watch Goosebumps, dude. I'm freaking out over
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. Don't
kind
worry
of
about it.
just like big
Too late.
creatures, kind of like Subnautica or something like that.
Ooh, that's a good
Because
one.
they do a really good job. Because I don't like, I love the ocean, stuff like that, right? And obviously, I still want to like, I would still want to do all this stuff, even after playing Subnautica. I'd still want to go to the ocean, but I still get terrified of like, whenever someone's like, I hear someone behind me, and it's like gong chong chong. I'm like, oh god.
Yeah.
And I'm terrified.
I hate when they make that noise.
Yeah,
They do that. Make that noise sometimes.
I know.
Or
I
the
kind
Reaper.
of. I know what you're talking about. Like
"Ugh."
big, especially in games for me. Like big thing. Even if it be a monster, like just big things that aren't supposed to be there. Like they have sky trees freak me out.
Oh, yeah.
Like there's again Mario Galaxy 2. There was another glitch where like half of the area would become like just like the skybox would become like a big purple and black like checkerboard pattern for some reason because it was like a placeholder graphic and it glitched out.
Oh.
And that made me like I didn't play the game for so long after that. That like I don't know. I don't know
some
why
of the
like just big
textures.
stuff like that isn't supposed to be there
Yeah.
really upsets
Oh,
me.
it's when textures just don't load properly.
Well, yeah, I know that, but like, as a kid, I didn't know that. I was like, why is it looking like that? Like the
Yeah.
Freddy Fazbear checkerboard floor.
Obviously, I still have deep phasmophobia, or
No,
not
thalassophobia.
Thalassophobia.
Oh, I want to play
Yeah, I have
Phasmophobia.
phasmophobia.
I love phasmophobia.
I don't have that but I want to get it.
Yeah.
The game, I mean.
No, I want to get phasmophobia.
Yeah.
I want to be scared.
Yeah.
Scare
but
me right now.
aside from that, this is getting a little philosophical, I guess.
Let's go.
My worst fear ever, this will probably never change, is failing.
Failing, just in
Failing,
general.
just in general. Failing to achieve my dreams, what I set out to do.
Yeah.
Failing to make a good podcast.
I know, yeah.
I
can tell.
I think
honestly,
we've done that. I think we've done that.
That makes sense for you, I think.
Just
But it doesn't like. It doesn't make you an anxious person though.
right.
I always found
Yeah.
because like I'm because again like my biggest fear is being lonely when it comes to like that kind of stuff. So I do everything in my life to make sure I'm not. But it doesn't like it's not sad. You think it'd be like an
Yeah.
upsetting way to live, but
Right.
it's
Yeah.
not. You know?
It's more in my head than anything too. So
Right.
it's not like it's
Yeah.
very apparent or
True.
anything.
I know.
But-
I think everyone has something like that.
Yeah, but yeah, that's probably mine. It's not obviously scary, but
Yeah.
you know.
And you feel fulfilled. You know, like you still feel good about it. Even you know.
Yeah. For this next section, this wasn't originally in here, but Luke gave me the idea earlier. I wanted to talk about some scary dreams, some iconic scary dreams. He has one of my beard hairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't see
Mine.
it.
Thank you.
Yeah. You put
He put it
back.
back. He didn't even take it. He's still it's on his mic.
That was really good. Thank you.
It's still
Mine.
on his mic though. He didn't even take
What,
it.
dude?
Nope, mine. That's mine.
It's like Dumbledore.
Yeah.
But
Don't
not-
agree with that. You don't know that reference yet.
No, I don't.
Yeah,
Well,
you
I've
wouldn't
seen
know that.
Dumbledore before.
Yeah, but you
okay?
know he does that.
No, you haven't. You don't know what
Yeah.
that is.
He's a fat bearded man.
No,
Absolutely
he's
not.
not. Fat. He is not fat. He's a bearded man, but he's not fat.
Dumbledore isn't fat.
No.
No. Oh, you're talking about Hagrid.
Oh, Hagrid. That's who I'm thinking.
Hagrid is the
Yes.
See, you don't
big
I
know.
don't
bearded
know.
guy who's whoosh.
Yeah.
I love Hagrid.
We don't need more than one bearded wizard guy in it.
He's not a wizard.
Hagrid's not a wizard?
Gandalf, or not Gandalf.
See what I mean? There's too many bearded people.
yeah.
Gandalf is
Including myself.
Yeah, media is too confusing, dude.
Gandalf is completely
The
different.
freaking dial
Yeah.
it back.
Anyways.
Yeah.
I wanted to get into
scary
some,
dreams.
some scary dreams. I have one right off the bat if you guys need time to think about
Okay, go
one.
ahead. I already kind of gave my scariest
This
one.
is the scariest dream I've ever had
Let's
in my life
go.
because it felt so real. So essentially what happened in the dream is I went down to the garage for some reason, and it was like dark late at night. Feels completely real. I swear like this actually
I know.
happened.
Those
but
are the
it
worst.
didn't.
And
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
do happen.
Yeah. This guy in a pig mask shows up.
creepy.
And
It was me actually.
Yeah, it was. I don't know if he had. I think he had a knife. I think that's what it was. Yeah, guy in a
Very
pig mask
spooky.
with a knife. He stabs me. Right. He's killing me. And
He's killing me.
He's killing me. Your stereotypical like slasher kind of stuff. I'm on the
Yeah.
ground. He stabbed me. The scariest part about the dream though is, like I said, how real it felt.
Yeah.
Now to
Yeah.
emphasize on this. That is the closest feeling. That dream is the closest feeling I've had to knowing that I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
And it was the scariest feeling ever. I woke up in a cold sweat.
A lot of times your emotions are the scariest part of those kinds of things.
It is.
You know?
And just like in the stereotypical like movies and stuff, my life flashed before my eyes.
Right.
I felt like I was dead. I was dying.
So weird.
It was
creepy.
It was horrifying.
I had something similar to that. I can't remember what it was now, but yeah, that is interesting.
Mm.
Oh, the pig mask. I want to talk about this a little bit.
Okay.
Something that used to scare me a lot. Which I meant to tell you guys this in the hangout, but I forgot. There was an old when I was around getting into like internet horror and stuff. The first things I watched were like top 5 ranking, like top 5 scariest things caught on video, and it was all fake. But I didn't know that. I thought it was real.
What?
And,
It's fake?
And I sorry, Brett, I had to burst your bubble. And one of the things that
is fake.
a very iconic like old one of those. It was a video of these people like exploring. Yeah, that was the second YouTuber I ever watched. Unironically thought he was a good YouTuber, and then I was like, he's not. All this stuff is fake, and he like reuses his content all the time. Whatever.
Well, yeah, a lot of it is fake. Of course, it's gonna be fake.
Yeah, but it was.
it's real.
His commentary was pretty good, actually. Like he wasn't. He's not a bad person.
15.
Yeah.
Burger King foot lettuce.
Right. Anyway, there's an old internet video, very iconic, still around today, of these guys exploring this old underground abandoned like building or whatever, and they open this door. And you hear like a weird voice in the background. It's like, and it's like, what is that? And then like they're like, we heard this. We didn't hear this when we were doing it, but we watched it later and slowed down the audio, and we heard, and it was like a guy going like, I have the body of a pig, and it like made pig sounds, and that, and then like it showed a picture of like a demon, and like that. Still now, I even get like, makes it like it's really scary. And I don't know if you know this, but in Faith, when Michael runs out the window,
you told us,
which is a reference to that.
We talked about that, yeah.
I didn't go into as much detail as
I have the body of a pig, even without context. It's just like such a creepy thing.
Yeah, it makes my skin
It's
crawl.
so weird.
It is creepy. I have because it's talking about like demons and whatever, and how they like because there's a story in the Bible about demons getting into pigs and running off cliffs, and it's really funny.
Yeah.
Like, why would they run off the cliffs?
Because the farmer's like, there's all these like demons, and then Jesus puts them all in pigs and makes the pigs run off the cliff or something like that.
That's
it's very
weird.
funny.
Yeah.
I really always imagine
Jesus
like,
is such a troller. He's such a silly little guy.
Hey,
He's
you're
really
gonna
cool.
you're gonna turn into a pig and you're gonna run off the cliff.
yeah.
I don't know why I'm doing a New York accent.
Hey, and they all ran off the cliff going, I have a body of a pig.
Yeah. What about you, Hunter? Any scary
Yeah, and also
dreams?
I know, but also another thing about that is like, why would he have the like reason to announce that? You know what I mean? There's so many things wrong with that sentence. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's really uncomfortable.
It is weird.
Anyway, yeah, go ahead, Hunter.
Go ahead, Hunter.
I think one of my scariest. I don't even know what my scariest dream was because I've had a lot of them when I was like really young.
Mm-hmm.
I would like constantly every single night would be like a bad dream.
Really?
Yeah. I think one of them was when I used to have Hazel. Like when I was like really young, I had dreams about how there was an evil one and there was a normal one.
Oh no! And you couldn't tell them apart.
They looked the same.
It's like
but
fake Peppino.
One had claws. She didn't have front claws because at that time my mom didn't know about declawing was a bad thing.
Oh.
Because it was like not such a huge thing.
Right.
But this evil one had claws and whatever, and like, and the entire point was just like them trying to kill me.
Aww.
Like, and my entire family like, why? Why do you have to ruin stuff, my brain?
Yeah.
I want to love my cat. Why do you have to do this to me?
That is such like a, why do you have to ruin stuff for me brain?
And
that's
then
so relatable
also,
for everybody.
one of my grandma's old cat that had no eyes, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I used to live in my old house, which was actually my first house I lived in.
Yeah.
Because he would come over sometimes, and what I also had this one dream where he was also evil.
Oh my goodness!
But to be fair, it fit more with him because he was a bit.
He
of
was evil.
Because he just bit people. But to be fair, he was also blind. He had no eyes.
Oh my goodness!
From when he was born, so
stuff having no eyes also was like a weird little fear of mine.
If I also was born with no eyes, I'd also hate the world too, and I also want to just bite everyone. But he never attacked me once, really. Like, he only did it like if I messed with him, obviously.
Yeah.
But he never like bit me or anything like that. He usually just like lay down next to me.
You reminded me, Hunter. I used to have an African gray parrot growing up. It was actually my dad's. But
and he would swear at you.
Yeah, he would swear at me. I don't know if you know how big those things are, but they're big.
Yeah.
And I was terrified of him as a kid. His name was Boris. I was
Boris.
I never
Boris the wolf. Sorry.
I never pet him because I was terrified that he would
Eat you alive.
bite my finger off. But I would have dreams where Boris would break down my bedroom door and like come in there and like eat me.
That's terrifying.
And I had to live with him.
Yeah,
like,
that's upsetting.
yeah.
You like walk by every morning like, nice kitty.
Yeah.
nice birdie. Nice
yeah.
birdie.
There's
Good African.
There's like
gray.
very specific like people banging on doors scares me when it's like in certain scenarios. Oh, I forgot to talk about mannequins too. I also have a weird. Remember we discovered this in my little nightmares too.
Yeah.
Mannequins freak me out too. And another thing that really like makes my stomach turn and it kind of make me like kind of like okay more like I need to get away from the kind of danger is when there's like reverse speech, like people talking backwards. Really like sets off something in my brain like
Yeah.
because it's like I'm so used to people talking, but then when it's like backwards and like distorted and weird, it really upsets me. So that those like very specific things that also get me. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Strange. Interesting. All right. Well, we can get into this last segment here. You guys remember the scary story competition?
I do.
I wanted to
I was
bring
waiting
it back.
for it.
I wanted to bring it back
Let's
for
go.
one more round here. Just
By the
as a
way, everything we're
tribute.
talking about today is canon to Phoenix, right?
It is.
Yep. Yep. It's very canon.
Yep.
I got Mr. Edgeworth. I got a mullet, and I got shorter.
Yep. And we're all friends now, and doing
We're
a
all
podcast
friends
together.
now. And Luke
we
is
took over for the Media Junkies
and
today.
sorry, not Luke. Phoenix Wright is a big hockey fan.
Yes, I am.
Yes,
And he
yes.
also got shorter and changed his
Yeah.
hair, and
And
also
lost a lot of
Judge, his beard.
His
got
hair
a-
grew back, so
Yeah.
His hair grew back, so he had to put on a bald cap. I mean, not a bald cap.
No, this is my real skin.
It's his real skin.
It matches my tone perfectly.
Yeah,
But
it does.
what happened was with that, after he grew back his skin, it was
where'd it go?
it was miscolored,
Yeah.
That okay.
and
I grew it in the wrong color. Whoopsie.
and his,
I dropped my gavel.
Oh, sorry.
Could you get that for me?
oh yeah, we also had to remake the gavel too because we all got fired.
Yeah.
That's
We're on
actually
a low budget.
that's,
okay.
that's why we're all friends again. That's why we're all friends now. Is because we got fired.
We all have a common goal. We kept our suits on though. We didn't.
Yeah, we kept our suits to make people think that we're still lawyers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're
Anyway,
not.
it's scary story time.
Yeah, scary story time. I'm going to give you 3 minutes per story.
That's good.
Who wants to go first?
I
Not
didn't-
me.
I didn't make a single thing about the scary.
Austin,
story.
you go first because you knew it was coming.
Oh, I'm not competing. This is you guys
Oh.
competing.
Come on.
Did I do it last year?
You remember? Why did you do this to me?
Oh, I guess I did compete last year. I forgot about that.
Well, you didn't compete, but you just.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'll go first. I have absolutely nothing prepared, though, so we
Nice.
can
Neither of us do.
we can just roll with the
At least
flow.
I don't.
roll with the flow.
Yeah. yeah. All right.
Flow with the punches.
We can start this off here. Okay. All right. Starts off. No. Just kidding.
Nice reference.
So
Hey, that's
there's
my
this
story.
there's this marine biologist, right? And he's his job is to go down in the ocean. His name we can call him Markiplier. That's his name.
Okay.
So Markiplier is diving deep in the ocean every shift. He's just going down there, taking
ocean-
samples, taking it back to the lab.
Is the ocean made of blood by chance?
No, it's not. It's normal.
Is he a prisoner?
No, it's normal ocean water.
Uh-huh.
So he goes down there and. There's all kinds of aquatic life down there. You're seeing all kinds of fish, stingrays, dolphins, all kinds of stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
He sees lobsters, and
Oh, yeah.
all kinds of stuff like that. And then one day, he starts hearing a voice. He starts hearing something talk to him down there.
Oh no.
And he's looking around. He's like, I can't make out what it's saying. He's like, he's trying to figure out where this voice is coming from. He realizes it's coming from below him, so he dives a bit deeper down into the
Dives
ocean.
a bit deeper.
No, dives.
dives. And he gets down to the ocean floor, and down there is a lobster.
Oh my
And
goodness.
the lobster, what does the lobster say, Hunter? Go ahead.
I'm gonna eat you.
Very horrified, Very horrified.
Says, I have the body of a pig. That's not even true.
Very horrified. He swims away. He's getting out of there. The lobster isn't chasing after him. He's just down there at the surface at the bottom of the ocean.
How are we gonna top that? Holy crap!
He gets back to his lab and he's telling people, what there's a lobster down there that was talking to me. You know.
What did he say, Hunter?
I'm gonna eat you.
Yeah, he said that, and the people just aren't believing him. They think he's crazy.
Hey.
They think it's absolutely false. So he takes the crew and he goes down to the ocean. They all go down there, and they go down there and they find the footprints, the claw prints of a giant lobster.
Oh dear! It's like there's an SCP that's a giant lobster.
Yeah, so they're following these giant claw prints. They're like, what could this possibly be? So they keep following, and they hear a loud, booming voice, way louder than before. What does it say, Hunter?
Insert zany one-liner.
They start swimming away, very scared. Behind them, a giant lobster emerges. His name, Rotten Ralph, king of all lobsters. They all get mauled to death and eaten. And
oh my gosh!
not all of them. Markiplier survives, but he's forced to be enslaved as a lobster.
This is an
slave.
alternate universe, by the way. Just
obviously.
put that out
This
there.
is what he plans to do.
Yeah, Rotten Ralph grew so big because he never died.
The insert zany one-liner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So very scary.
That was really scary.
Very
dude.
scary lobster.
Yeah, I'm never gonna look at Rotten Ralph in the same way again.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
I can't believe he did that.
when he said, "I'm gonna eat you,"
dude, that
I'm gonna eat ya.
chills every time.
Yeah, that was horrifying.
Yeah.
Well, who wants to go next?
Man.
I think the funniest part about the I'm gonna eat you is because I started a little bit. I go, I'm gonna
Yeah,
eat
yeah,
ya.
The stuttering made it so much. You're like,
Yeah. Luke, you're out of frame here.
I know. Sorry. I was trying to think of what I was gonna do, but then I got distracted.
Distractible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Does that mean Hunter wants to go?
I guess so.
All right.
I mean, it's not like I really had a choice, but
it's fine. Just go with the flow.
Starts off
Yeah.
on a spooky night.
Mm-hmm.
But there's this one guy named Luke.
Oh,
no.
And
okay.
he is in a cabin. I'm kidding. He is going on Halloween trick-or-treating.
Okay. Yep.
With his two friends, Austin and Hunter.
Oh, okay.
Never heard of him.
Do you know who they're dressed as?
No.
Edgeworth, the Judge, and Phoenix Wright.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. And what they're doing is they're recording a podcast.
While trick or treating.
While trick or treating, they have their mics walking around
Okay,
like
cool.
trick or treat, and then they ask
very TikTok of us.
then they ask the people, "Hey, who is your favorite podcast?" And they don't say. Then they say Distractable.
No.
And then Edgeworth, the Judge, and Phoenix Wright, their stands kill the people that don't say 3 Media Junkies.
Oh, dude.
Oh no.
And
That got dark real fast.
Yeah.
and
Are
so,
stands following us?
do you know what a stand is?
Yeah. Were they
It's
following
like
us?
it's like JoJo.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like that's what they're.
Oh, okay.
They kind of just like appear. Anyways, but yeah, their stands kill the people who all say the 3 Media Junkies. Don't say 3 Media Junkies.
Right.
Because if you're not a fan of Media Junkies, we don't want to talk to you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But anyways, as they're still trick or treating and killing all the people that say Distractable or talk to a podcast.
Yeah.
They're I like my cheese drippy, bruh.
You okay? Yeah, I do know that.
That was very scary.
But but as they're walking around doing all that other stuff, the police are like, "Hey, put your hands up."
Oh no.
And then the 3 Media Junkies ask, "Hey, who's your favorite podcast?"
Uh-oh.
no.
We have a lot of power in this situation.
And then the stands are activated, and they're just sitting there waiting for the answers.
It's like a really dramatic
and they all
standoff.
say 3 Media Junkies.
Oh no. That's
And then
not
the
good.
police,
Why?
the
We're gonna
police,
get arrested.
the police stop, and they're like, "Wait a second, you're the 3 Media Junkies. I can't arrest you."
Oh, shoot.
And then we get away.
I meant to wipe my hand and I just slapped
Happy
my hand.
ending.
Happy ending.
Yeah, it's a good ending.
Very good.
I meant to do like a but I just
Yeah.
slapped my own head.
Very good.
Yeah. Anyway, that was I really like the standoff where we're just
Yeah.
like, what's your favorite podcast? Just like,
Yeah.
that's really good.
Media
Like it
Junkies.
zooms on their lips and they're like,
Yeah.
3 Media
Yeah.
All right, that's pretty good.
All right, you ready, Luke?
All right, yeah, I'm just gonna flow.
Okay. Go for it.
All right. So it starts off. There's a man.
Okay.
And he's on top of a house because he's been running for a lot of days now. He doesn't really know why he's there anymore because he's been running for so long. And he hears some rustling going on in the house he's been on top of. He's been up there for a few days, and so he's been lucky that the people who live in there haven't been home, but they came home recently, and he hears their noises downstairs. And so he jumps off the roof of the house. He doesn't break anything because he's very strong, and he knocks on the door, and he asks the people in the house, "Hey, can I stay here?" And they're like, "No," because they're Karens or whatever. So they close the door on him, and he has to hide in the tree outside. But he was hoping to get away because it was not a good time for him to not be able to run. Because when he wakes up the next morning, he hears a voice calling his name in the darkness. Actually, I shouldn't say morning. I should say it's the nighttime. He hears a voice calling his name, right? So he knocks on the door very rapidly. He's like, "Please let me in, please let me in." And the people open the door, and he pushes them out of the way, and he runs into their house, and they close the door. And he explains the situation to them, and they don't believe him, and they throw him out the window.
Oh no!
I'm just flowing.
What?
This is all just brain mush. So the man, very feared for his life now, runs away. But as he's running away, he hears some loud screaming. It's the voice of the lady who threw him out the window, and suddenly her voice stops screaming after there's a lot of other loud banging and booming. And he turns around, and the house that he was in front of disappeared. I'm just looking at the house the whole time and imagining the house. By the way, just hope you guys know.
It's just kind of creepy looking.
Yeah, it was my inspiration. Yeah.
All
So
I'm saying
and the
is
house,
I'm really scared right now.
the house is entirely like torn apart. Like it's just crumbled down into like nothingness basically. And he's very, very scared. And he turns the corner and he tells the police officer he sees. He says, "Hey, look, that house is crumbled apart," and it's not, and it's regular again because that's tropey or something. Very scary.
Yeah.
And so the police don't believe him, and they take him and they arrest him and put him in jail. And then he's stuck in one place again, and he hears the voice calling out again.
Oh no!
And it's getting louder and louder. And he knows he has to go to sleep, but he can't go to sleep because he knows that if he sleeps, he's gonna pass time, and the voice is gonna get there sooner or later. So he has to find a way to break out of jail. So he gets the shiv, you know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he makes one out of bread or something, and he gets the bars off the. Oh, why did I say that? He breaks the bars off the door, and he runs out, and he opens it to the police station. But the police apprehend him and pin him to the ground. He's like, "No, I can't escape!" And he's screaming and screaming. He's screaming, "I can't escape!" And then all of a sudden, there's a loud crash, and the entire police station falls apart. And that's the end of my story.
Oh, all right.
All I'm saying is my teeth are chattering.
Yeah, that was the most I've ever rambled about anything ever.
I have to say, okay.
That's not true.
I'm gonna give my final verdict here.
Oh yeah, you are the judge. I'm about to hit you. It's quick. It's like
That's obviously mine.
Yeah. Hunter wins again, dude. I mean, it was just like
legendary.
I like the whole Media Junkies twist in there.
Yeah, I think so too.
Just like last time, it was a twist in real life, you know.
Yeah,
it was the computer because he was in a cabin by himself.
Yeah,
and Austin goes, "Why did you do this?
Yeah.
Why did you do this to me?"
Yeah. Very good.
Very nice.
I think you have a knack for telling scary stories.
I think Hunter gets in his own head because he's like, "Oh, I can't think of stuff on the spot,but then the stuff he thinks up on the spot is his best stuff." You know what I mean? You just gotta be confident in yourself.
Don't mind me.
No, don't be confident in myself.
Don't mind me just scratching under my beard.
Yeah.
No, don't be confident in myself because if I'm confident in myself, I won't make that good of a story.
True.
I've been incompetent in myself.
Good point.
What was that? Anyway, that was very scary.
That was a very scary episode, wasn't it?
I'm not gonna be able to sleep tonight.
Yeah,
dude.
I don't know.
I'm saying my body's scared. I am.
Yeah.
Very scared.
That made
My
sense.
pants have been peed. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Someone pooped in my pants.
I don't know who.
It wasn't me.
Yeah, dude.
I don't know, guys.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we can go ahead and give it a spooky closure.
Spooky closure.
A spooky end here.
Spooky.
You guys ready to close it off?
Yep.
All right. Counting down. 3, 2, 1. Peace out, Media Junkies.